Okay. All right. Now we're talking about algorithms, right? And so algorithm is a mhm, set of instructions now given to a computer to follow that is being used. Set of instructions that the computer will have to follow in solving a particular problem or it comes to a particular word task. So that is it. Structured instruction. Structured. We'll come to that one. We'll come to structured. So now we understand what algorithm is all about. When our company uses what? A process to achieve its goal, the task, solve the problem. Good. All right. As we proceed, we'll come to read these ones. So now you understand what we're talking about. So let's continue. Now, front-end development as a subtopic. Front-end development. All right, front-end development. This is the front side. This is the client side. The client side. This is what? The client side. And what users see. And very bit of and. Concatenating word. Joining two things together. If I say you and you come here, which means the two of you have to do what? Come here, not one person. One person there. Now let me give an example. When I say, if the two of them should come teach, if one person come, will I teach? No. Abia, will I teach? No. You, if you come, will I teach? But if the two of you come, will I teach? Yes. Because the instruction says you and you. But if I say you or you, it's now what? Conditional. Either you. So if I will teach. Abia, I will teach. Two of you there, I will teach. I can still say you or you and not the both of you. So two of you there, I will not teach. One person there, I will teach. No? All logics. Conditional statements. We'll come to that. I'm not trying to tap into these small things because I want to meet them squarely in the future as we progress. All right. We said front-end development, right? This is the client side and what users see and interact with on the web browser. And what users see and interact with. So it has to do with what the user. You know who is the user now? The client. The user is the client. I want to talk about the client, talking about the computer itself now. The web browser. So when you hear about talking about what? Web browser. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're talking about the web browser on the user's laptop. The web browser on the client's laptop or mobile phone, electronic device. Is phone a computer? Hmm? Hmm? Phone is a computer. How?
It works like
It works like a computer. It's a computer. It's a computer because it can accept data. It can process and it gives you information. Laptop is a computer. Phone is a computer. In fact, anything that can accept information, processes it, and gives you output is a computer. Hmm? Hmm? So, like I was saying, I said the client side, like I said, front end development. This is the client side, and this is the client side, and what users see. Okay? What users does what? See. Look at me. What it does what? See. Remember, we've not defined what is a software. Yes, I'll come to that. We'll take it gradually, one after the other. After this, I'll not define the software. So that we even know why we are even here. We're not just here to read and talk. Alright. So what the users see and interact with the web browser. So with the web browser, have you seen that? So which means the user, yeah, the model, the user has to see something, right? And interact with what? With what is seen. Alright? That is why you can open your WhatsApp, you open it, you are seeing something, right? You are seeing the interface, user interface. You are seeing the UI, which is what we are here to learn. The UI. UI means user interface. Interface. Notice interface. Notice face. Ihu. So interface now, the screen, the interface of this phone. The interface is this. What the user will see. Yeah? That's when you visit a website, you are seeing something. That is the interface. The user interface, that's what you are seeing that time. What you are using will see. From that user interface, you can interact with the program, which is now the algorithm I have worked with the developer design you could stay with the computer. Just like a WhatsApp, as I gave an example. Somebody have written the program. You understand? Then design the interface where you and I use the WhatsApp, where what you can see. What you can see. Then API, new message. Just press something. Or maybe a type or API send. You're not interacting with what you're seeing on your screen. Then at the back, the programming languages at the back will now process your information. All you know they send the earlier. When you have an interface in here, or reply, interacting with the interface. The sending of the message and doing the other work is already done. There's a logic and an algorithm behind it, and instruction given to it by the developer. Now we are going to when I appear here, accept this, send it to this person. If I send message to you, everybody will receive it. So I've given it instruction, don't send it to everybody. Look for this phone number, send it to this phone number. You the receiver, somebody send you a message, receive it. So the reason you know that there's a new message. That is an instruction given to it by the developer. Then what you are now seeing on the interface is just a design that has been done by the designer, which is the front end now, the front end design. So another word for front end design is called what? User interface. That is the interface the user will see and do what? Interact with. Because we're talking about internet, we're not talking about web browser, web applications, right? So which means the interface we're talking about now is the interface that has to be displayed on the web browser. We'll talk about what is a software and and the functionalities and how it works, features. But this is a fundamental class. This is a basic class. So I'll have clear understanding of what we are about going into. All right. So let's continue. Any questions so far? Ask me a question. Feel free, ask any question of your choice. Any question? Do you have any question? No question. All right, no question. Ask me. Ask.
Those sheets inside it, like calculator now, those panels and this thing, like what did they put like programming these sheets like this?
The programming language used.
Like the packet, the panel.
The panel. Those are done by electronics engineers. It's an electronic, that's why I say electronic device. It's an electronics device. Already it's an electronic device that can accept and process data, flowing a sequence of what? Instruction given to it. Now we're not looking at designing a calculator as a hardware. We're not looking at designing it as what? A software. We don't have the machines to start designing hardware here. It is Nigeria. We have a work, I never can on the phone. I never can on laptop. We don't have the machines. But we can think and give instructions. Welcome to okay, follow this thing. When I make one now, do this, process this, and give out this. So if you look at the computer is intelligent. The computer is not intelligent, you're the one that told the computer what to do. You understand? So which means I can never buy a calculator, depending on how it is being designed. I can write a program. I can say, that's what but that was when in the beginning I said, do you know you can have two calculators? You type 1 + 1 × 2 - 4. In the other calculator, type the same thing. This one will give another answer, this one will give another answer. It depends on the developer, the programmer who programmed the calculator. The algorithm or the logic he used in programming what? The calculator. That's the algorithm can be wrong, it can be what? Right. Even AI will tell you, verify your information by yourself. Because just using an algorithm, it's a prediction. You don't know how you don't just trust electronics because somebody built it, because it's not a computer. Somebody can write a program that is wrong. Don't you know? A day program, if the program is wrong, it will be giving wrong answers or wrong results. That's why we said why they see of you. You go for how you, the time you put this one, put this one, put this one. We solve the same problem, but the taste is different, isn't it? And you go for the one that has the best taste now. That is why you can still have a product, bring it out, somebody will not buy. Is it a finished product? Yes. But why am I not buying it? It is malfunctioning. Why is it malfunctioning? Because the person, the developer, did not follow the instruction given to the computer, organized. Do you understand? Or they skip some certain processes. For that reason, it wasn't able to give me a valid result or a valid output or a sensible or a reasonable output. Well, these things are just tools that help human beings. Computers are just to help us. They are just a tool using performing our daily activities. You understand? All right. Any other question? Do you have a question? Did I answer a question? Do you have a question? All right. So I said front end, right? This is the client side, and what users see and what interact with, which means it is actually your software or it's actually your program. The user has to see something now. Yeah, how interact or Bianca, this one will happen. You press this one happen. You press this one happen. You understand? You have to design that interface. You understand? Depending on what you want to do, achieve, or what you want to do, solve. So let's continue. And I said these things are done on the these things are being processed on the web browser. We're talking about web. We'll still come to web browser. When we're done with this, we'll talk of web browser. We're not going to what is a software, types of softwares, and we'll now come back to our web development, our web applications. All applications are softwares. All applications are softwares. But now, don't want to get that we should find it more in a broader way. All right. Now, front-end developers create the visual design and interactivity. Front-end developers. Front-end developers. Front-end developers. Say we have a front-end and we have what? Back-end. So the front-end developers are the ones that design the user interface. Okay? I said it before. This is the client side. I said the front-end developer creates the visual. You know what is visual? Visual. What is visual? Vision. So the designer design what the user will see and do what? Interact with. So once it gives an instruction or gives a command, the system receives it and processes the information or command given to it based on the instruction given to it by the programmer. You understand? So it's a two-way something. We have the front end, we have the what? The back end. The front end, you design it so that the user will see and interact with the computer. The back end is where you, the developer, will not give the computer instructions on how to process the information given to it by what? The user. Am I clear? Am I communicating? All right. So, what's the job of a front-end developer? What is the work of a front-end developer? What is the work of a front? Okay, who is a front-end developer? Front-end developer. That's what I know. We're just discussing it now. No, that's what I said. Front-end developer. Who is a front-end developer?
Front-end developers are those people that create
Front-end developers are those people that create the visual design. The visual what? Design. Or the user interface of his computer software to enable the user to interact with what? The software or the system. Do you understand?
Create a visual design.
Create a visual design that enables the user. You know who is the user now? When you use the computer, when you use the software, the person using the software is now the user. Do you understand?
Yes.
So it enables the user. Sorry. The front-end developer creates the visual design and interactivity. Visual design and what? Interactivity that enables the user to communicate or to interact with the software or with the program or whichever thing you want to call it, depending on how you want to understand it.
To enable users
to interact with your software application, or to interact with your app or your application. Don't worry. As we progress, I'll define application. What is an application? You understand? So we will understand what we say application, app. Hey, let me download the app. Hey, I have my Android app. What is app? Is it just app? You need to understand what is app before you know, at least for you to design an app, you should know what an app is. We'll come there. It's a gradual process. It's a gradual process. Now remember we said this front end, what are the technologies involved?
HTML,
HTML what?
HTML,
Okay.
CSS,
JavaScript. I said HTML, CSS, and what? JavaScript. These are the three technologies, or should I say languages? If you can say languages or technologies, used in creating your front end program or your front end design. No, you might not actually call it a program, even though you can write a program, because JavaScript can be used in writing a program. You understand? We're not talking about visual what? Design. We're talking about visual design. It's the person enough, what the user is seeing, and how the user can interact with your software. You understand? Because for me to even interact with your software, I have to see something. I have to do one or two things. That's why your WhatsApp, you can see. Okay, Chiemele send the message. You press on you press on the screen, it opens Chiemele, you look at it, you scroll up, you click here, you type something, you press send, it sends. You are interacting with WhatsApp via the user interface. From the user interface, you are interacting with your, that's why I can chat with you from the user interface. The logic on how the WhatsApp collects the information and send, you don't know that one. You're just the user. Your own is to see the design. It should look beautiful. It should look nice and attractive. Then it should be simple for the user to use it. And it's okay, it's not simple now. You just use it, you now press, you now send, you now go. So you have to design your what? User interface using HTML, CSS, and what? JavaScript. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Do I need to start talking about back end? Okay? Definition, in case if we are going into back end at the end of the tutorial. Now, I'll talk about CSS, HTML. I said CSS, and I talked about what? JavaScript. Don't worry, I've not explained them. Later, we'll dive into HTML proper, dive into CSS, and dive into JavaScript. But for now, this is a foundational class. This is what? A foundational class to prepare our minds. To prepare our minds and make us understand certain things. So that by the time I'll be teaching you HTML and CSS, you will not be confused. If you don't understand this, by the time I will go into it proper, you might get confused. You understand? So that is why I'm trying to water the ground. Alright, let's continue. Back-end development. Back-end development. Back-end development. Now, this is the server side. This is what? The server side. Of a website. This is the server side of what? The website. Okay. All right. Like I was saying, front end. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Front end what? Development. We're talking about back end now, right? Talking about front end. Okay, so this is the server side of a website, right? Which users does not see. Do you understand now? So which means the front end, the user sees it. The back end, the user does not what? See it. Is it clear? Okay, this is the server side of a website, which users does not see. It handles all this thing I'm asking, all this thing I'm saying now will be part of your exams. So if you don't understand what I'm saying now, my brother, I'll have issues with you. Those words. Sorry, let me adjust my camera. This is the server side of the website, which users does not see. So front end, the user sees it. It's not the visual interface or the user interface. Face, you understand? But the server side, the user cannot do what? See. That is why you can only see names of people, API send, and WhatsApp, it will just send. But how it is being sent, you don't know, you don't see it. How is the sending being programmed, or no network error, no congestion, when you know logics, you're not going to see it. You're only going to see the front end, which is the user interface, designed with what? Designed with what?
Like what they have.
I said back end development. The user does not see the back end script, right? But he sees the front end. And I said this front end is designed with what technologies?
HTML. HTML. And then HTML.
Say something now, you're looking at me. Say something. Pay attention, no. If you don't understand these things, if you go into it properly, you don't understand anything. but it's very simple if you pay attention and understand that reason. So I said this is the server side of the website which the users does not what? See. But the front end is what? The ones that the user does what? See. I said this front end design with what technologies? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Very good. Alright, so still on the back end, this is the back end, this is the server side of the website which users does not see. It handles server logics. It handles server logics. Right? It handles the server logic. Comma. Databases. And application programming interface, API. In brackets, API. Application programming interfaces. We said web development is divided into how many parts? Web development divided into how many parts? But you said 3. Is it 2? Which and which? How about full stack? The best I can do all the two, all of them together. Okay. So, in server-side languages, we have server-side languages. Server-side languages. One, we have like Python, Python, Python. We have Ruby, Ruby. We have Java. Java is different from JavaScript. Java and JavaScript, they are not the same thing. Java is a programming language on its own. JavaScript is also a programming language on its own. They're not the same thing. So we have Java, we have PHP. We have Node.js, Node, Node.js, Node.js, etc. and others. There are so many other programming languages. These are just examples, common ones. Remember we said your back end is used to do what? It's on the server side of the website. You understand? And the user cannot see. It is the one that controls the server words, logics, and what? Database. Now, we just mentioned some of the programming language. Now, let's mention some of the database. Database. So, a database is where website data. Database. You know why I said website data? Because we're talking about websites. We're talking about design and application. You can still use a database without a website. But because we're talking about web development, that's why I have to mention websites. So a database is where website data such as display website data, such as user information. For example, user information. What if you see a form, or click the save, or when you the save database. Whenever you come next time, to retrieve that information back for you and display it on the website. Right? So what actually happens is this: the website, you fill information, the programming language process the information, check for errors, depending on the instruction given to it by you, the developer. Now go to the database and save it. So tomorrow if you come again and say, I want to see what I saved yesterday, you understand? The front end, which is your HTML and your CSS, your HTML, you must send that information again through your programming language. And then the server fetch the information, brings it back, and display it also for you in HTML for you to see. But HTML is what the user will see and understand. The programming language is really the developer that understands it. Alright. So database is where you store information data such as user information is stored and managed. Example include MySQL, SQL, MY, all one word, probably. SSS, standard query language, or structured query language. My, capital M, small y. No, you got your own. S, capital S, capital Q, and capital L. It's also Y deals with small letter. Y, Q, L language. MySQL. Are you following? All right. So far, so good. We've been able to understand where we're heading to. Now, let's get started. Let's get what? Started. For me to start designing this website, I need some tools. For example, before you came to this class, you need a book and a pen. So for you to even start designing a website, do you know that even this thing you are doing now, you're designing something? You just wrote something now. If you give it to me, I can read it and read the information. Okay? You can design a from single field here. It will shock you that you'll be designing websites for you sometimes every day. It will be different that you're not designing it for the web, you're designing it for your use. When we go into it, I say, oh yeah, we hear ourselves. That's why I like use it in a positive way. Because I get no work here and I tell you, I'm more busy. It's hey, I'm asking this guy, that is what you not get elsewhere. Also, like you get it. This kind of thing I'm doing to me. Even your lecturer in school, teach you to this extent. True or less? Because you've been at school. I'm going to be at our power hero too. When I call you, I will do some power hero. Which I don't know which I have. We have 4 years history. I gave that to all right. Now, what are the tools you need in designing a website? Tools needed to design your website. One, not talking about it's a web. Where is web what application? Web what? Tomorrow I'm talking about what is a software and what's an application, so that we understand it clearer before we proceed. Once clean the board. The tools needed, right? I said one. Browser. You know what's a browser? Talk about browser. So yes, sir. Two. Text. Editor. These are the two fundamental tools we need in writing the words, a web application or a website, whichever way you call it. Okay. I said the first one is what? Browser or web browser. What is a web browser? Web browser. You know what's a browser? I'm asking you, are you writing? Don't worry, continue. Are you writing? Web. What's a browser? From the browser. The first one I get something from what? From browser. So if I do my browser and search something, I get something from it. Think. Browsing. What is browsing? How about browsing? What is browsing? Exploring information, searching for an information. Now, browser. Browser is a software or an application. I love it when you say it's an application. What are the name of it? I'm not that word. And it's always the name of the an application software, not a software. It's a software. So browser is a software used in exploring the internet or the web. That's the web browser. Here you browser, web. You say you search for something in the web and it gives you. Where are you searching it? On the web. You must put web. You don't go to the web browser. Or village browser combo. Is it browsing your village? Is it browsing your house? It is browsing the web. So your definition must be complete. Your definition must be what? Complete. Browser is a software that is used to browse what? The internet, or to search for information, or to explore for information From where? Internet. That's what the browser does. Then there are browser applications, that is applications that runs on the browser. Because apart from using it to fetch for information, browser is also what? A processor. In the sense that it is the one that processes what? HTML, CSS, and what? JavaScript. Or interpreter, depending on how you want to define it. It interprets the HTML code. I think we should interpret our processor. Though it is built, but JavaScript is a programming language. Okay. So we need what? A browser and what? A text editor. Text editor. What's a text editor? Your text. Like a Microsoft Word. It's a text editor. What they call that, Google worksheet or something like that. Or Google Notes. So more Google Maker. And Microsoft for Google for Microsoft. But in this case, we're using an application known as other editors for code editing. But we're using the basic one, which is text editor. That is Notepad. Not of Notepad. Don't want to hear it today. I feel like not even. That's very common. I see people. Well, they think I'm not really my head here. Only I'm my head here. Often my head here. So for us to start, we are going to learn what? The fundamentals of HTML. We are going to learn what? Fundamentals of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create a simple web page. Is it flowing? All right. And the best way to learn programming and web designing, do the best way. Practice. Practice makes what? Perfect. If you don't practice, you can never be perfect. So you must do what? Practice. Because the practice makes what? Perfect. So once we start, we are going to design these machines. These machines. On our construct, so you don't into construction of machines. You can design a website for your father for constructing website in constructing the machine. And the money on construct the picture. The money on construct machine age of borrow. There after the machine. They on they have a company or a business name telephone number, contact us at the internet. Or your own website. When you dial go www.afterthatTV.com website. And they have information about you. Okay? Yeah, that is one. And transport. Come on, go to back here for a company. The company here. Global mass. Okay, which is on under a company. It doesn't matter, you can still create a website for him as a driver. You understand? Okay, your mom will school. You decided, can mom maybe? Ichida. Ichida guy. That's your
Shalom.
okay. You can join the website for your mom. That can be easier for your school, mom's school. On what website are you?
I think
On what?
not
Okay, you will do. Because here, children practice. Yeah, on that website. See, website for school mom online. Let you want to run www.shalomschool.com. Whenever of your admission, fill form, click, you fill your form, and submit it, only to receive from you. So, that's paper form. Process your acquire the phone, and put over any admission. Without a child, schools in Michigan, school Omega after. Those like Oxford, after that, they say, acquire the phone, So, we are going there. So, we're going to do it practical, hands-on. You understand? So far, so good. We have explored a lot today, haven't we? Study the ones you've learned today. I'm going to give you time to read your book. Make sure that I know together. As I say, you should copy notes. Don't just listen, but write it down. The blunt pen will always remember than the wisest man. Because they probably now, be cheerful. But once you write it down, then those references, because I enjoy that, tomorrow when I ask you, I don't expect you to open your books and answer me. Then, that tomorrow now, we'll now dive into another topic. Then, after that, probably by the next other day, we'll now start practical. Before we start anything, you have to have fundamental understanding of what you are doing. Alright, I'm going to call it a day today. Let me take your questions. Ask questions. Question time. If you actually understand what we've taught today, it is time to ask what? Questions. It's time to ask questions.
that was the most good interaction. Like, what is its main purpose? Like,
We'll come to there. JavaScript is the last language you will learn. So you cannot understand it. Just like asking me what is osmosis, when you learn how to do ABC. You don't understand my point. Or asking what is algebra, tell me what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So the first one is HTML. After HTML, CSS. Another question. So far, what you've got. If you don't have, I'll ask you. I have questions. So. Should I ask? I should ask. What's algorithm? What about you? What about it? What's algorithm?
it's a set of instructions.
Why are you laughing?
A set of instructions that like
If not, at least education is for the bottom out. So they're supposed to be one of them.
set of
perform
instructions. Set of instructions.
Everybody gets to make it seem nicer for us. Enough of that. I remember I said it's algorithm is the sequence at which instructions are being arranged, like being given to a computer, being given to a computer. Computer programmer in this case. Because I'm going to design another word we're going to talk about tomorrow is program. Because from program, we have programming. Yeah, money will program. The money learning is in the INGs, programming in progress. You have to learn how to program a program. Yes, now. You program a program. So you have program as a verb, the program as a what? A noun. The program as a noun. The program is an action word, a verb. We now learn how to verb the noun. Learn how to program the program. Because your application is a program. When you understand what a program is, not your apps, your software words, your computer words, programs. You understand? But in particular, you categorize this as application softwares. Application softwares. Application programs. But program has to do with you as a developer writing the program. The software, we want to talk about software, the part of computer that you can see but cannot touch, and the ones you can touch and cannot. Is that just confusing? You don't need to pay attention at all. You know that you are just not the same way. You're not focused. You have to be focused, process before you talk. As a software, as a person of computer that you can only see but cannot touch. Where the hardware is, and those ones you can see and okay, you can touch. Okay, that's good. So algorithm. Once you reach home today, browse it. I have algorithm. Use your phone, browse. What is algorithm? How do I? What's algorithm? Algorithm. Thank God for AI. Shall you? How many of you are ChatGPT? You are here. Oh, you are AI. You are ChatGPT. But what's happening? Meta AI. No problem. I don't like a ChatGPT. I bet I want to see to give you to be asking you questions. I know the ChatGPT of you.
Yes, I want to use my country's
for ChatGPT. They get paid. I'm using the paid one. But for yourself, what did you pay one? And then even a professional. Well, we go like that. We median and go like that. That's the kind of program. You need to be more region. Not the free one. Normal. I am new. I am learning web development, and I was taught algorithm today. Please, can you explain to me what algorithm is all about, so that I will have clear understanding of it? If you said this is a prompt, is there a single okay or there? That's one good thing. AI. About the loss here, what is algorithm? Algorithm is a process. You understand? And then I say, I am learning a program, I am learning web development, and I was taught algorithm today. Can you please elaborate and explain to me what algorithm means as someone who is new to web development? Do you understand? On one day, the web development, and then I'm web development. Because one Nasaga, how do you say I'm web development? One may then I'm out there. You need to get one guy there. So the way you tell it, you can learn how to guide you. You learn to write prompts. Learn to do what? Right, what is prompt? Instructional and AI will let you answer. Gonna be a prompt. Hmm? So you write AI prompt. Learn to write prompts very well, not just the kind of feeling. Because all logic. Because all like look at it's all computer. This way here, we reason. One here aside. You understand? Alright. I have said algorithm. I've also mentioned browser. I've also mentioned process. Process. These three words must sink into your brain. Algorithm, browser, process, then also front end and back end. These 5 words. If you come back tomorrow, they are going to ask some. You want to pay attention. I've mentioned algorithm. I've mentioned browser or web browser. I've mentioned what? Process. I've mentioned front end. And I've also mentioned what? Back end. Are you writing it down? These 5 things I'm going to ask you to do. You're going to explain. The one that will now explain to me what you understand by them. Then tomorrow, because if I ask you and you're able to tell me what you're able to give me a clear definition, but I change that 1 over 5. Like, for instance, one way I didn't take it, I didn't know where they're going to be able to do low Tayana, but I want more of them. Or John Gordon Christian, you're joining Christian, what are you doing tomorrow? I don't tolerate that. You must pay attention. That's why I'm not asking you to ask me questions. So if you cannot ask me questions, I have not given you an assignment. Once you go home, you must read these things, these 5 things I mentioned, and understand them. So when you come back tomorrow, I'll ask you, what is all that you're going to have done here? These 5 things important. You should be able to tell me what it is from the point of understanding what it's all about. Failure to give it to you, the 5 questions, that goes to the 5 stories of killing. That is me. That will be wicked. Because if you fail my question, you will later you probably take more. That is me for you. So you must read. Welcome back tomorrow. Make sure you read these things I just gave you, so that it will also help you to proceed. Am I very clear? All right. Let's call it a day today.